Hi, he's Alan Hartley.
And he's Pat Jury, and Manchester made us funky. So, what does house music mean to you? And what's your vibe, Pat?
House music, it's probably my escape from stress of work.
Yeah?
Can't say marriage because Sam will be watching. Just it de-stresses. And what's my vibe and sound? Big vocals. Anything that's got a good beat and a good vocal. You know, it's as simple as that. What about you?
Well, it's become a bit of a way of life for me because it's been part of my life for 35 years. Because I got into house in '86, and I've kind of watched it evolve, and it's given me so many amazing memories, and it's given me so many amazing friends. You know, I came from a small town called Newtley Willows, and now I've got people that I know all over the UK and in Europe and abroad. I would have never known those people without connecting through house music and Australia. And it also gave me my wife, because my first date was with Emma at Cream.
Right. You know, this is a really tough question. How would you describe house music? You just hit the nail on the head. You know, it started a long time ago, isn't it? You know, it's evolved, it's got genres upon genres, and you know, it's not something that you can nail in a 5-second clip, is it?
No, it's not. I mean, it came out of the gay scene in America, emerged out of clubs in New York and Chicago, and it's just become such a very different sound now that it's hard to kind of describe it in just one sentence. It's quite an eclectic sound now.
But for the purpose of this video,
it's funky.
How would you describe house music in an average set that you'd be playing to this demographic?
Big vocals, big breakdowns and drops, and massive builds that just cause the dance floor to just kind of burst. And, you know, so tracks that just give people goosebump moments. What about yourself?
Yeah, you know, I'd say music that makes you put your hands in the air without a mobile phone.
Yeah.
You know, you look at a lot of the Twisted Elegance photos, and it was that, wasn't it? Give me more, come on, bring it.
And not a mobile phone in sight, just a room full of smiles, cheers, song and goosebumps.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, what was your track from old school to funky house?
What was that track from old school to funky house for you? I mean, you've got loads, haven't you? You've got CC Peniston. How many times have her tunes been remixed and sampled? And you've got stuff that, I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, 80s I've got a tune that I love. The 90s I've got a tune that I love. The noughties I've got a tune that I love. You know, and there's still good tunes being brought out. I can't answer that one.
No, I can't answer that one either because, you know, my favourite kind of group is Chic, and virtually the whole of their back catalogue has been taken and turned into house music, samples ripped out, etc. So it's all that kind of vibe. I hate the term old school. I just really hate it. I just think, you know, it's house music and people are re-editing the old stuff, but they're not calling it old school anymore. It's just house music, it's just good music.
I think music is music. If it's a good tune, it stands the test of time, and you can play it whenever you want. You know, I still have goosebumps listening to CLS. You know, it's a tune. But then again, I've got Brooklyn Funk Essentials, which, you know, was a big Legends tune for me, and you know, that is New York house at its finest. You know, and you could go on and go on, can't you? I mean, look at the live streams that we've done. How many tunes have we done that we haven't repeated over the different live streams? We've just changed the sets and mixed and matched it up to just play different music on the different streams. So, you know, I bet your collection is like mine. I've got some like 6 months worth of music I could play continuously. So
it's in the garage, it's in the loft, it's in the music room, it's in the living room, it's all over the place. Yeah. But I suppose if I was going to pick a track that spanned decades for me, then it is going back to the 80s, and I still play it now, and it's got to be Lost in Music by Sister Sledge. But that's a Chic track, so that's the one that I still kind of play constantly.
Yeah, great tune. Yeah. Right, top funky house, 5 funky house tunes.
Well, I'm going to be a bit cheeky here. I think it's more about the top Twisted Elegance tunes.
Yeah.
That's the way that I've kind of approached it. And I've been cheeky again. I've gone for 10. So let's see what you've got. I've got Silence, which was just a massive anthem for me personally. Stay Around was massive for both of us. I think pretty much every funky house club in the UK. Body Swerve. Yeah, Misha Parish vocals.
Not gonna argue with that.
Get Your Rocks Off, when we all started to go in that kind of genre. Superman, that was just enormous for us, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Texas in a Smile, Lee Cabrera, It's My Life, No Doubt, by No Doubt. That was a special edit by Huey, and it used to be enormous for me. Enjoy Anthem, and then Mary J. Blige, Be Without You. So, any builds on that, Pat?
No, I think it's a pretty good top 10 that covers the night that we did, that we love so much.
And I'm pretty sure you're going to hear all of those at Manchester Made Me Funky.
Yeah, only once, we hope.
Yeah. No
Take note, you lot that are watching.
Yeah, no broken jukeboxes, please.
What makes a great house track?
Oh well, what makes a great house track? Well, it's a track that connects with people on the dance floor in an emotional way.
Yeah.
It's got to have those breakdowns, it's got to take them on that journey, but a vocal that connects with them emotionally. And if it's an instrumental, it's the strings and it's the synths that replace the vocal, but it's got to have that emotional connection for me.
It's got to take you on a journey, hasn't it? You know, it's got to have the breaks, the builds, the big vocals, and you know that crescendo at the end. Yeah, and you know, there's a lot of good music out there, and it's tough choosing it, isn't it? Because there's a lot of good music out there.
Yeah.
So, has tech killed the dance floor, i.e. end of vinyl and birth of CDJs and laptops? I'll start with this.
Go on, you go first.
I think tech in a way has killed the dance floor, because every fucker's got a mobile phone in their hand. You know, for me, that's the thing that's killed the dance floor. I'm a bit of a purist when it comes to quality of sound. I got my decks out, I did a set not so long ago with a vinyl. Couldn't handle the impurity of the music. You know, I love crisp quality MP3s, and you know, the ability to manipulate the music, and you can remix on the fly. You can do so much stuff that we just couldn't do back then with vinyl. So I wouldn't say it's killed the dance floor, I'd say it's enhanced it. I don't know about you?
Well, first thing it's done, it's saved me bloody knees.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to carry those knee-breaking record boxes around anymore. But absolutely, it's giving you more freedom, more creativity. When we used to look at a piece of vinyl and think, you know what, that's going to run out, but it'd be so great if we could just loop it. All of those things that you wish you could do with vinyl back in the day, it's now at your disposal. It's the ability to use 3-4 decks with ease, the quality of the mixers. I think it's just giving you much more creativity and much more freedom. But back in the day at Twisted Elegance, we had 2 vinyl decks, 2 CDJs, and we used them seamlessly alongside each other.
Yeah.
It's whatever you want to play. So those vinyl purists who think it should be vinyl or nothing else, do you know what? We're old enough and daft enough to know what it was like back in the day. And whatever you want to play, whatever gives you enjoyment, just play it.
Try playing in a DJ booth with a set of ladders 20 feet in the air and 3 record boxes. Yeah, you'll soon get pissed off with that. Right, where is house music going next?
Well, I think you can plot this against the 90s. So if you look at the early part of the 90s through to 95, it was big vocals, house music, hands in the air. Then trance came along, and everybody started to go down that route. And you can plot that now because, you know, we're going through the big vocal area, but what you're actually seeing is the replacement for trance now, I actually think, is your kind of melodic techno and the melodic house. So I reckon the next step will probably be more about the bassline sound, which is what we saw with the speed garage kind of sound around the late 90s, 2000s.
And then there was that electro period where it was like really digitally grinded bass, and it is cyclical, you know. You'll find that as people get into music production and creating the music, they use their knowledge and their experiences in creating that music, and that is evolved around what they went out and listened to in the clubs or what they've listened to on the radios, and you know, and it evolves and it goes full circle. But like we said before, good music is ageless. You know, if someone makes a good tune, you'll play that 50 years from now when people will still be loving it. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So describe Manchester and its club scene over the last 30 years. You go first with that one.
Pretentious. So, you know, we've seen a lot of changes. I think at the minute it's flat. You know, it's dead. It's all about booths and minimum spends, and You know, it's all about the weekend millionaires and, you know, what they can get on social media and who's outdoing the other person. And so I think it's lost a bit of soul at the minute, and hopefully, you know, this is what Andy's trying to do with Manchester Made Me Funky, is bring that soul back to it, and, you know, and bring that energy back that we used to have and enjoy when we did the nights. And, you know, for me, it started back in when I was 16 and Legends, and even back then, earlier than that, was Manchester, the house in Manchester at Piccadilly Gardens. You know, raw house events where there was no airs and graces, there was no frills. It was just a dark room, good music, and no ventilation, and everyone came out filthy, sweaty, but smiling that from ear to ear. And, you know, it's something that we need to recreate, because I think it's lost that soul.
Yeah, give me a dirty, sweaty warehouse any day of the week.
Exactly.
Over a polished club. I mean, I wasn't really a Manchester kind of clubber. I came more from the kind of Liverpool scene and moved around quite a bit. So don't really know the Manchester scene too well, other than obviously the Hacienda. But big for us was obviously Money Pennies and Perugia. But that was glamorous, but there were no booze. It was sweaty, but people got up to kind of dress down, which is kind of where Twisted Elegance came from. But yeah, it's changed, but I think the thing that I do like at the moment is these large warehouse events. I think it's getting back to its, you know, its roots. No VIP tables, just people in there having a great time. What's scary is the sheer size and volume of them. You know, you're talking 4,000, 7,000 people in a warehouse. It's just something that we would have never seen back in the day. It's phenomenal. Yeah,
and it was totally different from our ethos at Twisted, because we were so selective on the door. But, you know, we've seen the different changes, the different venues, the different club nights. There's a lot of good ones have been and gone. You know, Manchester is famous for the Hacienda, and I've had some good nights in there, but equally I think that we've recreated some even better nights. So
yeah, we have,
you know, we've been part of the scene since the Hacienda. I've been pretty much involved with the scene since then, and I've got a lot of good stories, and I'm proud of a lot of nights that we've put on. So yeah.
So, tell me about Twisted Elegance. Who's going to start with that one?
What about where we started first at Bonds and lost a load of money?
Trying to take Money Pennies on in their own city and lost miserably, but then became partners with them. I mean, maybe I start. So, Twisted Elegance was basically some friends coming together and realising actually the quality of the nights that we were going to or playing at just didn't stack up to the standards that we would like if we were going out for a night out. So we actually stole the best bits from a bit from Studio 54, a bit from Money Pennies, a bit from Gals, a bit from here, a bit from there, bolted the best bits together, and we were committed to hold an amazing night in an amazing venue and attract the right people, but make sure that they were getting dressed up as well as actually having the time of their lives. And that was our commitment at the beginning, and it was to bring those kind of fading memories back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And make them reality again, and I think we did that.
It was a hard slog at the start, wasn't it? You know, getting people to actually appreciate what we were trying to do, and it was something that Manchester wasn't used to at that time. There were some good nights on, but they weren't at the level and the quality of the production, and the level of strictness on the door and getting that right element of clientele. It was a 3-month process before we started getting the numbers, but the rest is history, as they say, isn't it?
The rest is history. The challenge was then just keep moving forward and keep improving and keep putting on the next level of show. And keeping it fresh for that 5 years, which I think we did. Yeah, and unfortunately it was the gangsters that killed it, and you know, that's another story to tell away from the cameras. So what can we expect at Manchester Made Me Funky? Well, if you ever went to Twisted Elegance, I think you're talking Twisted Elegance but on steroids. I mean, you take a warehouse, I think the main room's about 4,000 capacity, completely transformed into this kind of
boudoir.
Yeah, that boudoir of a festival, of an event, but the quality, the production that Andy's putting into this is just beyond anything that I've seen anywhere else.
Well, if anyone knows Andy, he doesn't do anything by half measures. If he's committed 100%, and believe you and me, he is committed 110% on this. So yeah, it's going to be a big production, big music, big DJs. Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic event.
Yeah, and it's certainly going to bring those fading memories back, isn't it? And everybody will be leaving with a big smile on their face. Well, I certainly hope so anyway.
Right, how can music heal people, especially during the COVID situation? Can music help with mental health?
Well,
I think, you know, if I'm having a bad day, you know, I put music on to the detriment of my suffering wife over the years, because I am deaf. I have it loud, too loud, and I'm always getting picked up for it. But, you know, music chills me out and I love it. And we have, I own my own company, and it's house music all day long. There's no ifs or buts. It's my music, my playlist, and I think it adds to a better ambience. And you know, I think they're pretty productive. So
yeah,
thumbs up from me.
Certainly helped me during COVID. I went from 3 decades of being on trains, planes and automobiles Monday to Friday with the job to looking at the same corner of 2 walls, and believe me, that certainly did get to my kind of well-being. But having that event to look forward to, that live stream on the Saturday, preparing for it, setting up for it and doing it, certainly helped me with my kind of mental health and well-being during that time. But what was even more impressive is it connected people who hadn't even seen each other for decades because they just moved away from clubbing because of family commitments and things. All of a sudden it reconnected them over social media, and I got so many emails and messages of thank you to say, you know, it helped them through it, it gave them something to look forward to, and they could have their own little party in the kitchen. So yeah, absolutely does help it.
Yeah, and we had some drunken nights doing it, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
Yeah, you know,
in a virtual environment, we may have.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know, when, you know, I think it was, you know, COVID has been a bad situation, but if you look at the quality of the music that's come out of it at the back end of COVID, you know, there's some amazing music being released, and yeah, the nightlife industry has took a real kick in between the legs, but you know, the actual quality of the music coming out at the back end, you know, we've got some really great material to sort of play to everyone, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, so nice little segue there in terms of how important are the clubbers to DJs and the nightlife community. Without clubbers, there isn't a nightlife, there isn't a scene. So from a DJ's perspective, clubbers are hugely important, whether it's in the virtual environment or whether it's in the physical environment, because you just play off those people. It takes your sets to a whole new level. And in terms of the community, well, it creates a community, it brings people together from all walks of life. It doesn't matter, you know, what your background is, it doesn't matter how much money you earn, how much you don't earn. Once you're on that dance floor, you're just equal. Yeah. And that's what house music does.
And we're actually responsible for quite a few marriages, aren't we?
Marriages, births, probably a few divorces as well.
Yeah, I think there's some of them involved. So, any tips for future DJs or promoters? Well, I would say for DJs, tough on that. For DJs, know your pecking order. If you're doing a warm-up set, warm up, don't smash it out. If you're doing a main set, you know, play to your audience. Don't go with a pre-rehearsed set, you know, just play, go with the flow. You know, like Alan said, the audience or the people in front of it will take you on the way that you want to go with your music. Read them, judge them, and follow the way the night's going.
If you're an aspiring DJ, a lot of DJs make the mistake of becoming a DJ from being a clubber and then fall out of love with clubbing. I actually believe if you're going to be an amazing DJ, keep on clubbing. I've never stopped clubbing. Don't just turn up, do your set and disappear. That's not what being a DJ is about. Stick around, show some appreciation for your fellow DJs, and interact with the clubbers, get on the dance floor and enjoy what originally inspired you to become a DJ, and don't ever let go of that. And unfortunately, in the modern world of the DJ, you have to produce as well. We were lucky enough, you know, we had some amazing breaks and opportunities, but now it's all about production. That's the thing that gives you breaks. So get into production as early as you can.
Get your own style, you know.
Get your own style, yeah, absolutely. Pat and I, we've been playing alongside each other for many years, but as DJs, we've got very, very different styles, and that works. That's what enabled Twisted Elegance to be successful musically. Yeah.
And tips for promoters: be unique, don't copy, and prepare to put the hard work in. Don't think that a Facebook post is going to get your club busy. You have to get out, you have to network, you know, you have to get your your arse off the seat, go out there, and like Alan said, go to club nights, talk to people, network with people. I mean, the amount of cars that we flyed in Manchester and the surrounding areas, there must be 250,000 flyers went onto car windows, didn't they?
At least.
Yeah.
At least.
Even the business cards, we used to have little business cards done with little flyers for the night. They were all in the driver's doors. We've had a few slaps on the wrists off the council for flyering without a license, but has to be done. Fly postering, find the people who do the posters, get your posters up. Everything is not so sort of focused around digital marketing. You still have to get on the ground. I mean, Alan every Saturday was around all the salons, all the clothes shops, talking to people, getting guest lists, getting interest, getting a buzz. You get into a decent shop with 10 or 12 people that work there that love what you're on about, that 10 or 12 will become 50 to 60 by the time they've told all their customers. So do not underestimate the value of talking to people and just networking face to face, because it is a massive, massive tool if you want to be successful.
It cost me a bloody fortune though. I mean, being a person that loves clothes and fashion as well as music, when all you're doing is going around the clothes shops and speaking to people, all you want to do is buy clothes. Well, I certainly did anyway. So yeah. But think about your event starting with your flyer, because your flyer, your artwork, how you promote is the thing that tells the story to those people who've never been to your event about what your event is about. So if you've got quality artwork, you've got quality narrative, it tells them it's a quality event.
Yeah.
And then you have to think about that whole guest experience, how they step through the door, how they're greeted, how the drink's served, what the environment's like. If you want to give them that great experience, you've got to walk that floor like you're a guest walking into your own event, and think like that, and that will differentiate you from those people who think, I'll just stick an event on Facebook, and then they're surprised when they've got an empty room.
Yeah, finally, my last, one of the things that made us so successful is we treated it as a business. The club nights where people go and get absolutely wasted, haven't got a handle of what's going on, they let things slip. They're the nights that have a real flash effect and then they don't last. Treat it like a business. If you want to party, do it on your nights off when you're networking and things like that. Really focus on what's important, which is giving a product to the people that are paying the money over the door, making sure that, we always said, that takeaway effect, don't we? Leave with a happy memory, smiling faces, and then they'll want to come back week after week.
My biggest regret about Twisted Elegance was that we worked and we grafted hard for 5 years, but we never got to enjoy it. So we put the night on that we wanted to go to if we were clubbers, but never actually got to enjoy it as clubbers. But that's how professionally we treated that event. Next show.
Right.
So, thanks. Looking forward to seeing you on the 20th of November at Bowlers for Manchester Made Me Funky. See you there.
See you soon. Bye bye.